In Port Charles, a custody storm is brewing, and the tension between Willow and Michael has never been more volatile. Once united by love and parenting, they are now bitter adversaries standing on opposite ends of a legal battlefield, each fueled by betrayal, fear, and a desperate desire to protect the children caught in the crossfire. As Willow Tate moves forward with her contentious decision to align herself with Drew Kane through marriage, the ramifications ripple far beyond the confines of romance. What was once perceived as a gesture of personal renewal has now ignited a full-scale custody war with devastating emotional consequences. For Michael Corinthos, the stakes couldn't be higher. He sees Drew not just as a rival but as a dangerous presence lurking in his children's lives. And for Willow, blinded by her loyalty to a man spiraling toward instability, the cost of her decisions may come at the expense of everything she holds dear. This new chapter in Willow's life, forged in defiance and desperation, was supposed to be a step toward healing, a symbolic break from her painful past. Yet her union with Drew is swiftly being interpreted as a red flag in the courtroom and beyond. Michael, already skeptical of Drew's character, is now galvanized by a single goal: to remove Drew from any influence over Wiley and Amelia, even if that means stripping Willow of her custodial rights. The man once known for compassion now finds himself hardened, entrenched in a battle that grows darker with each passing day. But his fears are not baseless. The recent chain of events has painted Drew as a manipulator, someone who preys on emotional vulnerabilities and bends moral lines for control. Drew's attempt to alienate Wiley from Michael, convincing the young boy that his father no longer wished to raise him, sent shockwaves through the Corinthos family, altering the fragile balance of trust and parental unity. This incident alone might have been enough to damage Drew's credibility, but the unraveling of his past schemes has further cemented Michael's resolve. Months earlier, Drew orchestrated a behind-the-scenes deception, bribing the receptionist at Michael's clinic in Germany to sabotage a private meeting between Michael and Willow. That betrayal didn't just impede communication, it ignited a chain reaction that now threatens to destroy multiple lives. Although Willow remains unaware of the full scope of Drew's manipulations, Michael views her continued alliance with Drew as willful ignorance at best, and reckless endangerment at worst. His argument before the court is as emotional as it is strategic. A mother who cannot separate herself from a man endangering her children's mental health should not be entrusted with their care. However, the blame doesn't rest solely with Drew. Willow's own actions, or lack thereof, are now being scrutinized. Her repeated failure to confront the consequences of Drew's behavior has weakened her position. There have been opportunities, moments when she could have stepped back, reassessed, and chosen a path that prioritized the well-being of Wiley and Amelia. Instead, she doubled down, using her upcoming marriage as a defiant symbol of solidarity rather than re-evaluating the toxicity seeping into her life. For observers of this unraveling saga, Willow's judgment seems increasingly clouded by emotional dependency and unresolved trauma. Her detachment from the present reality, where her children's mental and emotional stability hang in the balance, has turned public sympathy into growing concern. And now, as whispers of Willow's psychological unraveling circulate among those closest to her, the question of her fitness as a mother becomes unavoidable. Friends and former allies have begun to voice worries, quietly at first, about her mental health. What once appeared to be grief and confusion is now revealing itself as a more serious emotional fracture. The smile she wore in earlier months has faded, replaced by a distant, guarded expression that even the most compassionate can't ignore. These signs have not gone unnoticed in the courtroom. Expert testimony from mental health professionals has been requested, not as an attack but as a necessary measure to protect the children from potential instability. The court's intervention, while painful, may ultimately serve as the intervention Willow refuses to seek on her own. Still, there may be hope on the horizon. Rumors suggest that Drew's facade is beginning to crack, and beneath the surface lies a volatile man on the edge of emotional collapse. Those who have interacted with him recently note a shift in his demeanor, an erratic edge, a harshness in tone, and an obsessive drive to control every situation, no matter the cost. It is only a matter of time before this mask slips in public view. When it does, Willow will be forced to confront the dangerous truth. The man she trusted to help rebuild her life is the very one who may be responsible for destroying it. That moment of reckoning could be the catalyst for a profound transformation, not just in the courtroom, but within Willow herself. Should that awakening occur, a new door may open. Michael, despite his fierce legal posture, has never stopped caring about Willow's well-being. Beneath the anger is a man who once loved her deeply, and perhaps still does. If Willow finds the strength to break free from Drew's shadow and acknowledge the damage done, there may still be a path toward reconciliation, not necessarily as partners, but as co-parents unified in their devotion to Wiley and Amelia. Until then, however, the war rages on. Every legal document, every court date, and every cross-examination adds another layer to the bitterness that has engulfed two people who once stood together as a family. As summer unfolds in Port Charles, this custody battle promises to be one of the most emotionally charged trials the town has seen. With each side gathering allies, presenting evidence, and defending their visions of love and safety, the ultimate question remains: who is truly putting the children first? The answer may not lie in court filings or legal victories, but in the quiet realization that protecting a child sometimes means letting go of pride, pain, and even misguided loyalty. For Willow, that realization may come too late. But for the sake of Wiley and Amelia, those watching, and those suffering, can only hope that light will eventually pierce through the darkness before the damage becomes irreversible.